Hi everyone, welcome to the career planning course called KRY 111. This course is reserved for the Department of Nutrition and Dietetics within the Faculty of Health Sciences. I'm Assistant Professor Sevil Köse, one of the lecturers of our department. In this course, we will try to explain the purpose of the Nutrition and Dietetics department, the place and working areas of dietitian in the world and in Turkey. Now, I'll leave the word to our teacher, Professor Dr. Türkan Erdem Merdol, one of the founders of the Nutrition and Dietetics department in Turkey. Enjoy studying.
And at those days, there were one exam to enter the university, university entrance exam, which started in the year of 1962. So I was the second round students expecting to enter the university by this examination. So I was trying to find some brochures, some knowledge about the departments in the universities. I went to Hacettepe. And at that time, Hacettepe was a very small establishment as a faculty. So I collected some brochures and found that under the medical department, also that at that time it was only faculty, and nutrition and dietetics was written under it. All the subjects were so similar, but the duration was 4 years. It really appealed me a lot. As a daughter of 5 children, father, having 5 children father, he was expecting us to finish the university and support his activities with our salaries, certainly. So I said, oh, 4 years is so wonderful. How can I understand what is this department for? There was a huge and wonderful library at the university. First, I'd like to show you this slide. It has opened in certainly 1962, that library. And I went down at the downstairs. There was American Dietetic Association journals. Can you imagine? Nobody knows what is nutrition and dietetics, but there are journals published from American Dietetic Association. So that was really a good source for us. So because I knew English, not as much as now I know, of course, but I was able to read, and I was very keen to find, using the dictionary together with my effort. And I was able to understand that there is such a good profession in the world, and people are doing their best to help the community. So I wrote here something specifying my effort as well, because during our basic education duration, we were really got good comments, good inspiration from our teachers. The first thing they have taught us was you have to work for the community. So service to the community should always be your primary goal, I would say to you first. That's why I put that here. I want you to understand that serving to community always goes back to you by pleasure. When you give some help to people, you certainly feel better. That's why I also wrote that in Turkish. Daima topluma hizmeti öncelikli hedefiniz olarak görmelisiniz. Then when I graduated, I said there must be an association because you cannot do anything by yourself. You have to have your community. People love to be together with others, and you you become stronger when you have in a group of people. Isn't that right? So we have to establish a, an association that takes care of all our rights, etc. I graduated from the university in the year of 1967. As you see here, only 2 years later, we were able to establish our association. I also put some, just a minute, I better show that first if I have put it here. No, I didn't. Anyway, somewhere under some slides, it'll be shown. It was very early comparing with other professions. There are lots of professions, as you know, working for the public. And we were not late, although there were only 3 or 4 graduates came after Hacettepe University. That's why I want you to understand that you are very prestigious level of students. Why? Because you are having your education in English and you are getting good information with other teachers and with other documents you have a lot. So you'll be preferred students when you graduate from the university. Certainly, knowing even second language is not enough for this century. So you better start learning another language. My second language is French, for example, as a foreign languages. And it also helps you to increase your brain capacity. The best way to be alert in late years, like me at the 75 years or even 85, 9. Now there are very healthy people around, reach their 90s. Even there are people with the 100-year-old age, etc. So knowing languages really helps you to keep your alertness and helps a lot. As it is seen here, the other important thing for our profession, our dietetic association is the member of International Confederation and European Federation. What does that mean? We are always getting into contact with their reports, surveys, etc. So we are following what's going on in nutrition and dietetics world. Certainly, we are also attending to the conferences, internationally organized ones from ICDA or IFAD. For example, this one here, the first poster we took with us when we entered in Germany for International Confederation Congress. And this one with a picture, we prepared for attending IFAD Congress. Then certainly many of them, whichever I attend, I usually give conference or do presentations, etc. I was doing my best to attend all these congress because I was also delegate of Turkish Dietetic Association. I was representing my association, and I'm certainly doing my best to show how Turkish colleagues of our European friends working and doing a lot of things. That this is also the first thing we tried to do, which was really very, I would say, successful activity for Dietetic Association. We started to publish a journal in the year of 1972, as you can see here. And now it is continuing, and it is published 3 times a year, which is not an easy task. We started, but now our colleagues are really doing their best to continue this journal. And I'm expecting you, after you graduate from this university, to be an active member of Turkish Dietetic Association and continue our journal without any problem and with good, sound scientific articles. I am really expecting you to do, and I hope I will see you doing all these activities in the future. As Begüm mentioned, I write also many books, and I'm really proud to say that all the copyrights of my books are donated to Professor Ayşe Baysal Foundation for the students' scholarship fund. Why it is not seen, I wonder, the whole slide. What should I do? Anyway, because I love writing. When I was in high school, I was really good in writing composition, and there were really nice teachers, except one. That was a good story. If I have time, sometime in the future, I can tell you that. The teacher is extremely important in the student's life. So I really want all the teachers working in this university specifically do their best for you to what is this scene? Do you see there is a box appear? Do you see that?
Yes, Hocam, I'm
How
also...
can I put it away? Please move this window away from this
maybe
shared...
you can stop share and share your screen one more time. Probably it will just dissolve itself, Hocam.
Let's start. Let's try.
Yeah.
So again, share screen. Go back. Okay, these are the problems. I don't know why happening.
Yeah,
okay,
I think it's
what was I
now.
saying? Okay, what was I saying? Can you remind me? This is always my style to understand. Are the students are listening or not? Okay, who
No, you were
wants to
speaking about teachers.
Teachers, lovely, Sarah. Thank you very much. Yes, so the teachers must really be perfect in understanding the students' role and understanding their problems also to help them. Okay. I was telling that I am really good in writing composition, and my teachers supported me in that manner, and I was able to win the competition in the year of 1977 as an event celebration of Hacettepe University 10th year anniversary, because when we graduated in the year of 1967, faculty became a university, and title changed as Hacettepe University. So in the 10th year of anniversary, they opened some competitions, and one of the competition was writing story about Hacettepe. So I wrote our story as dietetic nutrition and dietetic students. So my story won the first prize. They put it into the newspapers. Here I am. And I got my first prize from the hand of famous writer Cahit Külebi, because he was among the jury, as you can see, the jury who selected us here. So this is a very making me really feel so good whenever I remember that moment. I hope you also have this intensive study, among this intensive studies, inspiration from me, and you start writing. I know Ahmet is writing some poems, which is also nice. I love writing poems as well. At this time, I would say I have given my poem books to the department. I wonder if you haven't got any, please do your best to get one. I will be very glad, because it is free of charge. I'm just giving to my students and everybody who is interested without any price. So I always hear from the students, what are they expecting from the future? They say, what will our profession will be in the future? In the future, there will be this and that. So what are we going to do, etc. So I feel that there is an anxiety about the future, because it is understandable that there is an anxiety for the future, because there are lots of interesting events happening in the world these days. But there is a good expression, I have put it here, as you can see in Turkish and English. It is not possible to enlighten the future without understanding and evaluating the past. So you have to know what happened in the past, what is happening today, and what will be in the future. Certainly, the future has passed so many years. We cannot summarize that happenings in 5 minutes here. But I'd like to emphasize that. Oh, sorry, there is this one I want to show to you as well. When we want to talk about world history, there are two big ages. First, prehistoric and historical. And prehistoric and historical ages are shown in this table. As you can see, lots of years passed, and we are in the contemporary age, and there are really interesting events happening. I will jump into this slide. This era, this age is called Anthropocene age. What does that mean? It means the age of human. What does that mean? It means human impact on the earth is killing the nature. I love these pictures. Do you pay attention to these pictures? The human being is killing the nature with all these buildings, fabrics, etc. And there are lots of problems. So as a living person on the earth, we have lots of responsibilities to be concerned. But I will talk about only Hippocrates, because it's like summarizing the events happened in the past. There are certainly lots of clay tablets, papyrus paper, like sources we can find all the knowledge written and happened in the past. But Hippocrates is as a first doctor considered as father of medicine, says, do not recommend medication when you can get better with diet. Let diet be diet medicine, and medicine be diet food. And he also adds all diseases start in the intestines. And his first medicine is written here. And he also adds good nutrition, rest, cleanness, and fresh air come first in the treatment. You see, what we are telling now, he has told in that year. But why people couldn't reach to these advices still, because there are lots of social, economical, political, etc. issues to be considered. So from that, I'll jump into this one. I like you to read this carefully because I put it on purpose. You are the one who will build the future. I trust you. As my students, I trust you. You will build the future and do your best. Just a little bit of Dietetic Association history I added here. I will make it full screen first, sorry. As you know, America is the first dietetic association. In 1917, they established that. And they celebrated their 100-year anniversary in the year of 2017. It's not seen because of this, but whatever, I'm telling you. And then came, oh, it's here, sorry. In that year, they celebrated their 100th anniversary. And then came Sweden. You see, in Europe, Sweden was the first country established the Nutrition and Dietetics Association. And then came Asia. And Asia, certainly Japan was the leading one. When I first went to Germany to attend International Confederation Congress, there were 70 colleagues came from Japan, and we were so surprised because we were only 3 persons, which we had our best to find some support to attend these congress, and we spent a lot from our own pocket, really. Then comes British Dietetic Association in the year of, certainly there are other dietitians between Sweden and Britain. But why I have put it as a third one, these are very active nutrition and dietetic societies in the world right at this moment. And then came Indian Dietetic Association. Then, I mean, there are others in between, but I am trying to emphasize these are active ones. And then came Turkey, which was really early for comparing with the others. And in 2019, we celebrated our 15th year anniversary. I hope you'll see the celebration of Turkish Dietetic Association Foundation anniversary in 100th year anniversary. You, in whichever what will be the year when Dietetic Association will celebrate her 100th year of foundation? Who will tell? Who is quick in mathematics? Which year Turkish Dietetic Association?
They celebrated now the 15th year.
Sorry?
Now they celebrated the 15th year.
No, the 100th year.
I mean, now where did they reach in the celebration?
Sorry?
To calculate. Now they celebrated which year? 2000. Okay, Fatma. Already.
2000?
Hocam, some of the students are already written in the chat, which is 2069.
Okay, lovely. Then tell me if chat is really working and if they are contributing, participating. I would really love to see. And somebody can, like you did, tell me during this presentation. You can, whenever you like to, you can make me stop, of course. There are lots of things to tell. Doesn't matter if you can finish all the things I prepared for you to tell. We can make another conference session after the summer holiday, doesn't matter. So comes Australia, as Begüm's name, it appeared wrongly. It is Australia. Sorry, I need to correct afterwards because I have put Australia here because they are also very active association working in the world. I advise you to, from time to time, to see what is there on their websites. Certainly you can make your survey also with other countries' websites, but Australia is really leading now almost after America, England, etc. Sorry. Now we want to see what's happening today. So I have put this sentence here. I hope you know what kind of nutritional practices are there today. I hope you are interested in what's going on in the world and read some articles to find out who is saying what. And there are lots of information coming from lots of sources, and they have to be always evidence-based, of course. Anyway, simply we can say diet has become an important part of the treatment. Everybody, everywhere, in the hospitals, in every section, in any ward, there must be one dietitian to work to help the patients. And I put here the definition of nutrition and dietetic science. This is a branch of science investigating the effect of nutrition in growth and development and how foods are protecting health and certainly preventing diseases. And the profession dealing with the science is called dietitian nutritionist. Nobody else. But there are many people trying to act as a dietitian, but we have a good law preventing them to be assigned to the kadrolar. Kadrolar nasıl deniyor bilmiyorum Begüm. Kadrolara atanamazlar.
Positions. We can just
okay.
say positions.
Okay, we can say position. They cannot be assigned to the positions as a dietitian. So only we have the right to be assigned as a dietitian for the position. And there are certainly lots of roles of dietitian nutritionist. You can read yourself because I'll put all these slides to Beyza or Tuğçe. You can then read yourself. But I like to show you this one. Then I have animation. Let's make it like that. So these are the areas and positions where nutrition and diet regulations are important and necessary. For example, in cancer specifically, in diabetes, cardiovascular diseases, liver and biliary diseases, renal diseases, gastrointestinal disorders, neurological disorders, during menopause specifically. Certainly drug nutrition interaction is also effective. If you are using a drug, you have to know what is the interaction between that drug and my nutrition. Then you'll find a way whether are you going to take that drug when you are hungry or when your stomach is full, or which one, which foods you have to omit, etc. There are lots of areas related with nutrition and diets. And certain infants, toddlers, diets are specifically important. And school children. I have attended one school children congress in America. They were having also lots of problems because there were huge amount of food. In Turkish schools, the food was so restricted that the students was not getting enough their nutrients. But in America, they were serving to the school students lots of foods at the same time. They were having all sorts of fast food, all kinds of ready-made food, etc. So that they are also having many problems as well there. So that's why dietitians are important persons in America, and there is a great struggle between medical doctors and other professions related with nutrition, etc. So they have other kind of problems. And adolescents certainly is a very good way, good sources for dietitians, specifically in high schools. There must be dietitian working. Last week, I have heard a news saying all schools would have one nurses at least. So when they really were able to hire nurses to each school, they will be certainly would get some problems arose from the students, and then they will have to assign some dietitians to the school as well. That is how it should be, because all the developed world is doing these kind of works to help people to get better nutrition. And another area is pregnancy and lactation, definitely. Without good pregnant nutrition, without good nutrition, lactation period will not be healthy, certainly. And elderly, now I'm elderly person, I realized how important eating meals, time, water intake, etc. There are lots of things that my friends are not aware and are not getting good nutrition really. And athletes, certainly. And institutional food services. I spent my 20 years to correct all the institutional food service systems, like there was no standards, no menu forms, etc. They now prepared a book for institutional food service. I hope it is given to all the food service leaders, and they may plan the meals better. And nutrition education programs and institutions, of course, can assign nutrition and dietitians. And media. So far, we don't have much mediatic dietitians, I would say. We have certainly Selahattin Dönmez, Elvan Yemişçi, what else? Dilara Koçak. But it's not enough. There must be more like columns writers. I did also acted as a column writer in one journal called Actual Medicine. I wrote 40 columns related with nutrition. And Begum is also very talented in that sense. I believe she'll be a good column writer in near future. And I hope one of you will appear as column writer after certain years. I will be so glad when I see such achievements. And certainly nutrition research centers must assign dietitians, but there is no good research centers enough, I would say, in Turkey. And Atılım University is doing their best to form some lab related specifically with molecular nutrition, etc. I hope they can build nice research labs, and they can assign some dietitians, colleagues. And food factories, food areas, food industry. As you know, the third year students met good colleagues from food industry, and there will be more, I hope, in near future. So in the year of 2013, American Nutrition and Dietetic Academy declared what will be the workplaces for dietitians. So I want you to read that report. And there are some sentences I added here, but please find this report. It is published in 2013, and see where you can work and what you can select among all these workplaces. And I also put this slide. This slide I have taken when I have attended to one of the international congress from our British colleague. She gave this presentation about the problem they are facing with other disciplines. Because as it is happening now in Turkey, everybody speaks about nutrition as if they are giving the service. That's why I told you, you are the one who give the service to the public, nobody else. Can the people talk on the media, either in television or writing in newspapers, etc.? Do they sit in front of the patient and talk about their diets? No. First, they don't have their right. And secondly, they don't have any experience what to say, how to say, when to say, when giving counseling to the people needing a modification in their diets. They can talk about nutrition, everybody can talk, but diet is something specific, specifically written for the specific person. So these are the list: journalists, health writers, doctors, other pressure groups. Nutritionists are not dietitians also in England. That's why she has added that. Nutritionists are also talking about dietitians, diets, she said. They don't have any right, but they are telling. It's not, what is it, forgiven for them. So they may talk about, but it is the same. But only the dietitian and nutritionist, I would add always, because it is like that, we are having that education, have the right to write a diet. You know that. We have a good colleague working in Istanbul. They always tell this: diet is written by dietitian. I know you have heard this, I believe. So now, sorry, this is not the one I was aiming. If we can have time, I will go back to these slides. But now, I like to ask you a question, and Tuğçe will help me. I want you to write the answer of this question. for a moment break. How long a person can live without food? I'm repeating. You have seen this on the scene. How many days can a person live without food? I want you to just check it out. And Tuğçe will tell me afterwards the answer appeared on the screen.
We are getting the answers.
Okay.
You can answer it on Zoom. I've launched a poll.
Everybody sees that. How many students are there at the moment, Begüm? Do you see them, or who is seeing?
Hocam, we are all together 45 people, so
45, which is
yeah,
good amount. Okay. The time is almost finishing, but we can give some time for the questions if you like. After this, maybe we can stop. It is only the 1/3 of my preparation. However, after this, we can stop and answer some questions instead, if they have, of course. So, will you get the result?
Hocam,
Tuğçe?
we are just lacking. Okay, it's increasing. Number of people answering the questions. We are nearly done.
Okay.
I haven't answered it because I can't, obviously, but I think we are okay, Hocam. We have 33 answers.
Okay, let's see the result then.
Okay, I have ended it. And I'm sharing the results with you. I think you can see the results, Hocam.
Okay. Certainly, I didn't expect all of them would give the right answer, because right answer even is not an easy task to tell. I'll now explain why. Okay, now let's continue talking about the answer, because these are the very important issues to know as a dietitian. Excuse me. How to go back? Allah Allah. Derya, bu tekrar stop share mi yapacağım acaba? Stop share.
maybe you might have to just click on the screen, but maybe this will also work.
It didn't work. Neyse, şunu bakalım. What should I do? Sorry, again, what did you say?
This might work now, Hocam, if you just, is it working now?
No, I wanted to go
it's
back
working.
to the not full screen. That's what I'm trying. Anyway,
Okay, escape. If you just press escape, Hocam.
escape didn't work. That's why. And now you see it disappeared altogether.
Yeah, no. You need to,
You can
That's
press
the
the button
problem
on the
in
keyboard.
online education, you know. Share
Hocam, you
screen.
should press the escape button on your keyboard.
That's what I'm doing now. Okay, here it is. Wonderful.
Okay, hocam.
Certainly, answering this question is not an easy task, because there is no reliable record for that. But as you know, Mahatma Gandhi was making some hunger strikes to help the people, for giving their voice to the government, because government doesn't do good works and say, she says, do this, do that, but nobody listens. So she was doing some hunger strike, and certainly, he survived 21st days. And this is the time they say after that people cannot stand for, I mean. Because the duration depends on healthy water consumption, breathing healthy air, the amount of body fat stores, the amount of muscle weight, and genetic makeup, certainly. And there was last week, there was a news in the newspaper saying somebody who was trying to make an experiment for himself how long he can survive without eating. Can you imagine? But he died after the 35 days. So he survived 35 days. So we cannot say this is the right answer. That means being hungry and keeping yourself hungry in hunger state, it's not healthy. You have to have food. That's the important part. But the second interesting question is this: how long you can live with the addition of the food? This is not a simple question also to answer, is it? Because it has also lots of factors to be involved, whether you are getting good amount, getting healthy, whatever. That's why I always tell adequate, balanced, and healthy nutrition is the basic element for being healthy. But there are other factors, as you can think. First, you have to have adequate, balanced, and healthy nutrition. Adequate means meeting the optimum energy and nutritional needs of the individual, and balanced means energy and nutrients must be taken with proper ratio and time. And healthy means foods to be ingested mustn't contain any harmful chemicals, either mixed during harvest or growing or occurred during storage, preparation, and cooking. I mean, there are lots of varieties of foods, and there are lots of things within the food: nutrients, bioactive substances, toxic elements coming from the food naturally or occurring during cooking, etc. There are, you can see afterwards yourself, there are lots of things in the food, and most of them probiotics within these bioactive substances considered, and probiotics, etc. And gut microbiota is another factor to be taken into consideration. Diarrhea and constipation are the basic two symptoms that you have to take into consideration when you are giving consultancy to the patients, because really your gut system has to work properly, specifically for the elderly, etc. These are lots of the functional gastrointestinal disorder tables. Can you imagine how many disorders are there for functional, grouped as functional gastrointestinal disorders? There are lots of diseases. So all of them are very related with nutrition. Very simple correction in nutrition makes your gut work nicely. Never forget this. And certainly nutrition-focused physical exam is becoming more used in the clinics, not maybe in Turkey, but all around the developed countries. And Academy also declare many good articles about that. And British Dietetic Association also gave good document for the extended scope of practice, etc. And I put this here as well. I want you to read this carefully, really. It is not realistic to expect success in the profession without following what is happening in the world and in Turkey, especially without examining the innovations brought by technology. And as you know, there are factors to be considered when you are writing a diet. There are lots of things besides the person has to take into consideration. And there are meals, now intermittent fasting, etc. These are all the knowledge that dietitian knows best, not the others. And we have holistic approach. You will learn good in your courses. Then we have psychosocial, biopsychosocial model for the patient. And the diet is very individualized thing. You have to be aware of it because all the bodies are not in same structure, like ectomorph, mesomorph, endomorph, etc. These are all the knowledge that dietetic students know best, because there are differences between food allergies and food intolerance between the people. And the food productions ready-made food productions are increasing incredibly. And even they added some more senses for the people to get the good taste so they can sell their products. This is also a very good area for the dietitians. And in the big supermarkets, the dietitians were started to be assigned because the customer comes and tries to find out somebody to ask whether that person will buy that food package or not, etc. So there are now dietitians working in those areas. As you know, our sense affect our thoughts, and our thoughts affect our sense, etc. There are lots of things afterwards that needs to be discussed, but I will jump into this one and finish. This is also with animation. There are periods when you are growing up. You have childhood period, adolescent period, adulthood period, etc. All these periods are not in the same nutrition and diet principles working. You have to take into consideration the period capability and problems when you give consultation to the patient in these periods. Certainly it's not enough, sorry. There must be taken into consideration the pregnancy period of the person. How was the mother taking care of herself to give a healthy delivery, etc. And that is not even enough. The mother, before the pregnancy has to have a good nutrition, prepared her stores, etc. And certainly, if there is a genetical disorder, problem, she has to be controlled before being pregnant, etc. And even adequate, balanced, and healthy nutrition affects genetics. You can be born with good genetics background, but if you don't take care of yourself, if you don't get good nutrition and diet throughout your years, your genetics sequences even can change. Nowadays, we know that because environment affect genetics. Nutrigenetics and epigenetics are the newly evolved areas related with nutrition and dietetics, as you know. And let's say everything was nice and the child has born. So the children has to have a good nutrition and breastfeeding. Is it enough? No. Why am I finishing my lecture with this slide? Because of this, nowadays there are nice TV series emphasizing the importance of father in the child's life. Certainly mother comes first. Mother has to be a good mother to take care of the child. She has to be really aware what kind of problems can arise if the child cannot have good nutrition, etc. But if there is no support from the father, if the father is not even paying attention to this newborn baby, it won't enough, neither for the mother nor the children. would get. Yeah, really, I like to tell you again, be aware if there is no support from the father, even breastfeeding period won't be as efficient as it should be, because if the mother is not happy with her marriage, specifically because of the father's attitudes, the milk will not come enough and with it good content even. So I like to finish my talk here. I hope you can be realistic when you choose your area or your feature, and try to do your best to improve your knowledge. Remember, some of you may remember, I always talk about Maslow's hierarchical achievement to the best in life. There are certain levels that you can go one by one, and how you can climb in those stairs. You have to read good books, you have to follow good articles, you have to listen your teachers attentively and attend the course, etc. Thank you very much for your attention. Now I would give you some time if you have some questions.
Hocam, for now, I cannot see any questions in the chat section, but if any friend has any question, can directly ask to our dear Professor Merdol, or write to the chat section.
Okay, I will show my thanks to you here and give you some time for your questions. If you don't ask any questions, I will add some few slides afterwards. Okay, anybody wants to ask me something by raising hands or whatever on the chat somewhere? Personal or professional, scientific, what kind of questions, any kind of questions I may say, you can raise. Then I think there is no such question. Then
It was a comprehensive talk, Hocam. Thank you. Maybe that's why. You should continue, like you say.
Then I may show you this interesting topic arising nowadays, home food gardening. Why this is a good rise in developed countries, I would say. Certainly developing countries are doing their best as well, but home food gardening, if anybody has a garden, if doesn't, people started to think about this and started to move to countrysides. Moving to countrysides are increasing in the specifically big cities. So people want to work in their gardens because when you are away from the nature, you become unhappy. If you are living within the nature, like you have a garden, etc., you become more happy. So these are the issues people are now talking on it. And then there are lots of good videos on the internet. You can go and see. These are home gardening samples, some pictures. And this is the website that I liked to give you some tips how to start your vegetable gardening. And I added this here for you to remember. Every newly learned topic increases endorphin secretion. Yani her yeni öğrenilen konu, hatta kelime endorfin salgısını arttırır. This is the source that I can advise you to read about this. Really, you enjoy when you learn something, your life better.